Spyro the Dragon. Welcome everybody to my first English Let's Play. I don't know how exactly that's pronounced. Basically, this is just me playing through Spyro the Dragon while commentating the whole thing in English and not in German. I am German, I only did German videos up until now. This is just some sort of pilot, some sort of test Let's Play, just to see is this appreciated or not. I might do some more of this in the future if you like it or not, and if you don't, I don't.
Okay, rolling.
Oh, it's been peaceful here in the 5 worlds, or is it 6? For a dragon's age. We now have 12,000 treasure, or is it 14,000?
What about this Ganasty Gnorc character? Now, I understand he's found a magic spell to turn gems into warriors for his cause.
I'll take that question. Nasty Gnorc is a simple creature. Simple! He has been contained in a remote world and is no threat to the Dragon Kingdom. No threat! Besides, he is ugly. That does it!
Looks like I've got some things to do.
Yeah, and it starts so now. It's funny how Insomniac Games in the 90s already put the theme of watch out what you say on TV, on public media, into a video game. And yeah, I changed the camera to active from the get-go because I can't play on passive. The camera is so bad, so stuck on things all the time. I need the camera behind me, all time active, that's how I roll. Now, the first dragon is one that tells us everything we need to do for now.
Thank you for releasing me, Spyro. Free 10 dragons in the artisan world. Then find the balloonist. He'll transport you to the next world.
What about Nasty Gnorc? I'm going after him.
Find dragons first. That's all I can tell you.
Now, what this dragon isn't telling us, we can get every dragon in every world and all the treasure in every world from the get-go. And I find it always funny how the dragons only have a few seconds or so to speak with us. It's a little weird, and it's just a bit off-putting, especially when they disappear after they had their little speech. Like 20 seconds of dialogue maximum, I believe, and then they go away. And also, how did they together? I mean, we saw dragons from Dreamweaver's some endgame world in the intro.
Where's Nasty Gnorc? I'll torch him.
Keep your horns on, Spyro! You have much to learn first. Do you know what the dragonfly following you is doing? His name is Sparks, and he's helping and protecting you. Keep an eye on him and see what I mean.
Yeah, Delvin had an impressive job right there, just stating something that's not really obvious. Until you get hit, and it's hard to get hit in Artisans, unless you suck at platforming. Now, what I'm doing here is unlocking the actually first flying stage. Like, those are like a bonus level, where you're just flying and collecting stuff, burning stuff, and if you did everything right under a certain time limit, you will get rewarded with a completion bonus of it, with treasure, and yeah, neat little levels. Now, I'm not going anywhere right now, I'm just doing the home world for a first thing. And over time I got really skilled at this game, right? Like I did a complete challenge run of this game. Not all at once, because as a challenge it was hard. Now, I know now where to position myself to fly, to jump to special places. You saw me fucking up that flight after I collected everything. That was just a demonstration. Just how much I didn't know about the game back then. I failed like that. And now that I know so much about the game, now that I basically can do everything almost blindly, when you see someone else who's not good at this game, who's pretty new, you just forget how you played at first. And every time I see someone play the game for the first time, it just reminds me how stupid I was. And something obvious can be failed so easily.
Hey, Spyro, press the jump button twice to glide. And don't be afraid.
Afraid? Of what?
Falling from high mountain peaks, plummeting into prehistoric glaciers.
Oh, that.
And I must say, because I'm German, I'm used to play the German version of this game, but I no longer own a PlayStation 1 original and this game as PAL version. Now, there was a little... I used to play this game on my PC on an emulator, because again, I don't have the console and the game anymore. And yeah, that was an ISO file. The American version just patched together with the PAL version. All the cutscenes are English, are the American version. And in game, if you run around, the dragons do apply to the language you chose at the beginning. Like when you have to press start to start the game, to start a file or load a file. The game just uses that, and everything that can't be passed with it, couldn't be passed with it, is in English. Like the cutscenes, like the moment you beat Gnasty Gnorg, which is a pun in itself that isn't used in the other languages, because the name will be the same in every language in this game. So the wordplay, the pun doesn't work exactly. Now, there is a chance, if you do this right, if you fly along this wall, you can walk on some pieces of it, of the green, and get up the cliff and above the edge and enter the boss level of this world pretty early, prematurely. Because the dragon in front of that gate will tell you, if you didn't free 5 dragons, that you have to turn around and go somewhere else. It's so stupid, you know? Because if you complete this homeworld with every dragon it has, you already have 4 dragons. You can just go somewhere else, free 1 dragon and come back.
Cool, Flash. Do that again.
The artisan's boss is through a portal in the dragon mouth, but you are not yet ready, Spyro. First you must complete one of the other artisan lands.
He said complete. Specifically complete, but you don't have to do this. Just free another dragon, maybe even use the go home portal, because if you go to the pause menu anytime in a level, you can go back to the home world. And everything you collected stays collected. You have it when you go out of a level. And I don't know, Spyro did something so futuristic, so progressively good. Like even games in 2008, if you left a level too early, you wouldn't keep what you collected. You would lose everything and have to start anew. And that's, especially if you played this game the first time in ages you played video games, let's say if this was the first 3D game you ever played, you would think, wow, that's stupid. I'm gonna go play Spyro. Now I'm going to Stonehill, because first level of a game, obviously, aside the home world. And I think this level is so dull, so boring. I mean, granted, this is just one of the first levels, and the artisan worlds are basically just tutorial in its entirety, where you have easy tasks and a world built around these tasks. But still, I still think it's dumb. Now, if you in this room, if you go in one round and do it right, you can break every single box in one go. I failed it. I never really made it that often. I only did it like once or twice in my whole life. And yeah, I suck.
When you free a dragon or step on one of their platforms, you're saving your progress. That could be useful if you run into trouble. Not that you ever run into trouble, Spyro.
Okay, dude, first off, your head is tilted a bit too much down. Another fun fact. In the PAL version, that dragon has tilted his head slightly more up, so his jaw wouldn't glitch into his body when he looks down on Spyro. Also, that was the dragon in the cutscene that called Ganassi Gnorg ugly. Again, I don't know how the dragons scattered themselves like this. I mean, it was basically done just so we have a nice little game. Also that well I was looking at before. Usually levels have just a death trap if you jump down a hole, but this one isn't. Also, really old dragon.
After you freed all the dragons, pass through this fancy vortex thingamajigger. It'll take you back to the artisan home. But first let me tell you a story.
No thanks. See ya.
Now this is just a first glance. Spyro hates old dragons, or at least doesn't want to listen to stories. I mean, yeah, old people, I get it. Old people aren't that important anymore. They are broken, they can't do much by themselves as the years go on. So they want to have something to be important with, and the only thing that really comes to mind is their year-long experience in life. Like stories they still remember. And poor old people. I can only say poor old guys, because I think I know the feeling. I was in school like that, I wasn't really important. And yeah, that sucks. That simply just sucks.
Watch the dragonfly, Spyro. His color indicates his power. When he eats butterflies, he stays strong. Like me.
Sure.
Yeah, Spyro doesn't find it logical at all that Sparks can eat butterflies to get health back. It's also pretty odd that the that a dragonfly like that can take hits for a little dragon. You know, so the dragon is already small, and something even smaller takes the hits. Doesn't come in the way of gameplay though. It's good Spyro has more health than a glass bottle. I mean, look at Crash Bandicoot. That guy, if he doesn't have a crazy mask following him, he is dead. Unless you are really, really good at those games. Now these old guys, I hate them. These Jesus, these No, Now, one of those dragons to point out that you can fly everywhere, how to glide the best, because you can fuck that up so easily, and it's so important in Spyro 1.
Spyro, my friend, how about a hint on gliding?
You bet.
For the longest glide, press the X button at the top of a jump, and try pressing the triangle button to drop down in mid-flight.
Now, and at this point I have to admit a little something. I was going to have this live recorded, but because I'm stupid, I killed Audacity. So my voice recording program, my software, because it's free. Yeah, I killed the voice recording before I made an actual MP3 file of it, or WAV file or something. So all the live recording was gone, and I was like, shit, and no way to recover it. I looked it up. If a program didn't crash, it didn't make an autosave file of it. So I'm kinda boned. Oh yeah. I remember I was talking about how Spyro deviates himself from basic platformers. Like, Spyro does run, jump, and run fast, and attack with it. But he also does his gliding and his fire spit, and that's most of what makes him different. You know, that's the one thing. And I'm missing 3 gems. Where the fuck are they? But I remember, I was not somewhere. Also, what I wanna point out now that we have this menu, if you press select, you have that menu, and it just shows you a quick overview of what you have collected and what you didn't collect in these worlds. Now there's the blue guy, Sonic the Hedgehog, the crazy guy from the Ice Worlds in Super Frog. The old one, not the new one. The HD thing is terrible. Now this guy has a dragon egg. There are 12 in total in this game, and only 8 of them are needed to get to the end game, but I still wanna get them all. Also, I don't know if you notice it, but the terrain kinda makes Spyro slide a bit. Now I can charge into him, like this, just more graceful, hopefully. And now that I have this egg, every egg is shown and accounted for, and it shows me exactly how many I have from what the game has to offer, from all the 12 dragon eggs. Funnily enough, these eggs are kinda forgotten about in Spyro 2 and only used in Spyro 3 again. I mean, alright. In Spyro 3 I get it. They needed something. Now that I have everything, I can exit the level, like this, and will keep everything I did. In fact, it will be counted to my total from what I have. The only thing not shown is the dragon egg and the dragons. Now, at this point I had to take a break, because usually when I'm playing a game, when I'm recording, I make sure I don't have to use the restroom or anything to make an interruption in my recording. I'm usually not the guy who does parts of video games. Like recording one part, stop. The second part, stop. The third part, stop. I'm not like this. I used to do this, but I don't know, it feels a bit weird. I just wanna play the game, I don't wanna interrupt it all the time. So what I'm nowadays doing, I'm just playing the whole time. The whole time through until I'm done, until I've had enough for today, until the game is done, until I need a break. But yeah, I would say we cut off this part here, and I'm gonna see you in the next video.